Kevin Bryant, thank you so much for joining Unstuck. I am really fortunate and grateful to have you here with me. Thank you, my brother, for coming on.
It's an honor, man. Thanks for having me.
It's good to see you, and I know you're up to great things at Good Citizen. But can you just, before we get into the magic of your work and how you're helping really make a difference in communities all over, let's go back to kind of how you started uh, just as a human being. Tell me about the community you grew up in. What was it like growing up being Kevin in your neighborhood?
I appreciate the question. Tim, also thanks for creating this platform, and inviting me into a conversation with you. Again, I'm really grateful for it. I'm from a small town in eastern North Carolina. It's the rural part of the state, where you know um, we have my family's been living there for over 200 years, over 250 years, in fact, a long, long time. Um, that's a separate story that we can get into at some point.
Yeah, that'll be episode 2 because I got some questions about that right off the bat. But keep going.
Yeah, it is. It is a unique thing that we've done some digging into my family's ancestry and found some cool connections to how long we've been living there. Um, but yeah, I was born and raised in a small town, and to some hardworking um, parents that um, just believe deeply in education, man, and provide opportunity for me and my sister. And it has sort of that deep belief in education, that holding us to high expectations, and pushing us to try new things, really sort of created this cocktail um, of a spirit of adventure, courage, and self-esteem is the way I would describe it, man. Um, but it was all rooted in uh, caring for your community. My mother is the first Black woman elected to the city council in my hometown. Um, my father um, has been an elected official my whole life, both at the city level and the county level. Um, they've been giving back their whole lives, right? My sister now works in philanthropy, and so the family business is to give back, right?
Love
I'm
that.
just doing I'm just doing my part is the way it feels. And trying to keep up is really the way it feels, man. Because those are good people. I feel very fortunate and blessed to have had such an incredible upbringing and folks that believed in me. So yeah, that led me to um, I attended a HBCU in North Carolina, Winston-Salem State University,
All right.
and, that's something I'm really proud of,
Yeah.
and, it was that experience. It was a professor there by the name of Larry Little, um, and this brother really challenged me,
Mhm.
um, to, uh, to find my own way to give back to my people,
Yeah.
right? Um I made A's in all his classes. I was obsessed with everything that came out of this man's mouth, right?
Isn't
He
that
was
something?
he was the real deal, right? He was a former Black Panther and someone who had really been organizing, dedicated his life to serving Black folks. And he would just challenge me, man, just challenge me.
Give me one
And
of his challenges. What would he
man,
say? Like, what's one of those things that was on repeat that kinda is in you still to this day?
he would, first off, it was the way he lived. He didn't just talk this talk, he did it, right? He lived true to it, right? Um, so I think that was the first example, was the articles and the documenting of the work he did during the civil rights movement there in North Carolina for folks. Uh, the man has instant credibility and he has a presence, right? He still has a presence, right? And he would just challenge me, man. He would say, "Kevin, you've been this privileged kid. It's like everybody's, things have gone right. Folks have supported you. You got good family and all of this stuff. Your people are counting on you.
Wow.
What are
To
you
whom
doing?"
much is given.
Exactly. That statement at my high school graduation, my mother put that atop the she made this sort of like collage of photos from me from my whole life. And the top the collage, she put that statement, "To whom much is given, much is expected." Right. And you didn't know that. I'm just like, that is so that's what he saw in me, right? And said, "So what are you doing, brother? Right? What are you doing? We need you." It still lives true, man. I still feel his presence. I still hear his voice. And I still feel that challenge of, am I doing enough? And so it has been a sort of a driving force to find my own way of contributing to this work, to this movement, to supporting our people, that ultimately led me to say, okay, the thing I understand is business a little bit. Thing I understand is um, how power works in our society.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I understand is the power of a network and creating opportunity for people. And um, and I leverage those things in the work I have to create opportunity for our people. Um, and that's what I feel honored to get to do in this work.
Well, let's
That's a little
unpack it, man. We ain't gonna bury the headline no longer because I think what one of the beautiful things that I'm hearing from your story is that leading with others in mind, it's in your DNA. I mean, you grew up, you were forced into life with people who cared about more than themselves, who cared about uplifting people, and particularly people who are their people who they know need it, and they did something with their time and their talent and their genius. Like this is where you were incubated, is in that kind of laboratory of service and leadership, and that intersection of service, leadership, and love is in your DNA. And now you come to doing work that helps organizations who hold those same communities together. Talk to me about how Good Citizen came to be and how you brought all that DNA and all of that socialization to your work.
um, so Good Citizen and I got connected 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. Um, I was doing similar work, helping organizations find leaders in the education space and in the nonprofit world. And, um, we started having conversations about doing that work, continuing to do that work, but also expanding that footprint, doing it in environmental justice, doing it in philanthropy, um, just doing it at a different scale.
Yeah.
And I I had decided at that time that this is the work I want to do. This is the impact I want to have.
Helping place leaders in these places.
I It would be an honor to have spent my career doing that work specifically. And so that's what I set out to do. I decided then I wanted to do it, and I just needed to find the right team to do it with. Uh, and we've built the Avengers at Good Citizens,
I love it. Yeah,
right?
that's
That's
right. You
yeah,
got the squad.
we got the squad, right? Um, and it's no better feeling. It's no better feeling to do the thing that you feel like you are put here to do and be able to look around and say, and I got the right people with me to do it the way I want to see it done or at the level of excellence to which I know it can be done.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling waking up and being able to do that, and be able to do that work all over the country, and in some cases all over the world, as we're able to do it.
Let's
And
talk particularly though, because there's a lot of if you just open your LinkedIn inbox, any professional, you're gonna have it flooded with people recruiting for roles,
sure,
people
sure.
asking for jobs, people looking for jobs, people hooking up. What does Good Citizen do and what does it not do? Right? Like what's the difference between you and the flood of emails and messages in my
Right.
LinkedIn box?
All right, that's a fair question. I appreciate you asking it. So we get hired by foundations, mediary grant makers, as well as nonprofit organizations that are looking for leaders. We are very transparent about the things that we value as an organization. We lead with our love of community, our commitment to the environment, um, and really making sure that those who have been marginalized and sort of excluded from leadership, we make sure that they're given a fair shake at those opportunities. And so organizations find us that have those values. Is what happened. Word of mouth, right?
Yeah.
People communicate about we did the work with Kevin and Good Citizen, and they really lived up to the things that they said they valued. It didn't feel tokenized or it didn't feel inauthentic. They
Mhm.
pushed us. These are things I want clients to say. They pushed us, but also, you know, I truly felt like I had a partner along the way. Kevin was there with me every step of that journey to make sure that things went well. Um, and ultimately, you know, I recognize the responsibility is that with the financial investment that folks are making into hiring a firm like ours to do this work, we've got to deliver, and it's got to be the kind of leader that people sit up straight in their seat when they see that person walk in the room. We've got somebody special here, right? That's the responsibility. And so I spend a lot of my time doing that work, working with boards, working with executives, and helping them to find the kind of leaders that, like I said, make you sit up straight in your seat when they walk in the room. Um, that's who we're
And those
looking.
and that marketplace is constantly moving now, Kevin. I mean, people in the nonprofit, government, education sector, the turnover in those executive roles is a lot faster today than probably it was historically. In some cases, at universities and school
Yeah.
districts, you're talking in some cases 3 years max is the average. I mean, boards are really looking for leadership that can sustain. Talk to me
Mhm.
about your process at Good Citizen, or at least not proprietary, but just your approach to such a very important decision that a
Mhm.
lot of boards and teams whiff on and then, pay for it 3 or 4 times before they engage somebody. What,
Yeah.
what's, what is the importance of getting it right both from a talent perspective, but also from a ad perspective. This leader being somebody that helps the organization sit up. How do we? What's special about your approach that helps leaders not make those mistakes?
I we like to start by listening,
Mm,
right? Um, I'm not gonna assume I know who you are, or what you're doing. I'm not gonna assume I know your community. Um, I'm gonna let folks tell me who they are, right? So I lead a series of conversations and get a chance to do that first. But the other part of it is I try to make sure we are treating people right along the way. Everybody. That's the client. Those are the candidates that we encounter. Those are the people that we just meet, have conversations with as a part of these processes. That takes intentionality to make people feel seen
That's right.
in those encounters. Um, and never losing sight of the fact that people will remember how you made them feel,
Correct.
right? So that's a lot of what the work is. And um, the other part is just doing what I said I was going to do for people, right?
It seems so simple what you're talking about, but it also highlights how inconsistently people experience those things,
That is exactly what it is.
particularly in the nonprofit sector, I would imagine.
T-
Tell me more.
People don't expect, people don't expect you to do what you said you were going to do at the level for which you said you were going to do it. And that's unfortunate. Um, and I'm not here to slander or offer a critique of others who do the work, right? I believe everybody's doing the best they can. And I believe folks who are in this work, I believe their heart's in the right place,
They're
right?
trying. That's right.
Um, but in a I try to focus on what we can control, and that's making sure that, again, I'm staffing my team with the best. I'm holding people to a high standard.
Yeah.
I'm holding myself to a high standard, right? And I'm trying to never lose sight of a couple of things. One, being from a community where I'm from, people have been made a lot of promises.
Mm,
Not a lot has changed,
they didn't come through.
right?
Yeah. In a
Opportunity
real
has,
way.
right? Despite the fact that we know they're talented people that are there. They're talented people all over the place.
That's right.
And folks just need opportunity, right?
That's right.
And so um, I try not to lose sight of of that feeling of being locked out of
Mm,
opportunity. I also try not to lose sight of the feeling of being unemployed for an extended period of time and the frustrations and difficulties that that presents. I think those things help me treat candidates with the care and the team treat candidates with the care that they deserve.
yeah.
Because you know what happens, Tim? I go talk to a couple of hundred people about a job, and one person will get that job. And the rest are left with what if, what did I
Yeah.
not do right? What was I missing?
They're still human.
They're still human. Um, and some need that opportunity to work out, right? Or believe they need it to, right? And so I try to be compassionate on that front. And then for the clients, man, I have to be a couple of different people. Sometimes I gotta be a warrior, push you and hold you accountable, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes I've gotta be just a thought partner and a listening ear. Um, Sometimes I've gotta be uh man, just consistent and steady and reliable is probably the word, right? And it's recognizing with my clients, who does this person need right now as a
Yeah.
part
Yeah.
of this
Yeah.
engagement? to get to the place we're trying to get to. Because the thing is, it's the same process, but man, everyone feels like a different journey.
Because it's a different human dynamic every time.
And it's a different community, and it's
Yeah.
different issues, and it's a different board, and it's a different financial situation, and it's different pain points. All of it is always different, right? And uh, but regardless, we got to get the job done. None of this matters if we don't get the job done, right?
Right.
And ultimately, that's what people remember. Did Kevin do it? Did Good Citizen do it?
That's right. Good citizen can get it done and will
Mm-hmm.
get it.
And we'll get it done.
One of the things I want to just talk to you a little bit about, my work is in somebodyness, right? I work
Mm,
with teams and organizations to really unlock people performance through somebodyness. That if we can set up our environments and our practices and our management and our policies in a way that everybody really is somebody, and there's evidence of that through how we treat them, how we set them up for success, how we invest, that can transform things, somebodyness at the core. When you think about boards, executive teams who are looking to transition, for me, I'm looking for somebodyness. I want to see that they really care about culture and making sure that every type of talent has a place to grow. Like, how do we deal with this fit idea in organizations where people want somebody to fit into what they already have, as opposed to what we try to teach around somebodyness, which is, what does that person add? How do they help us be more than what we are now? And oftentimes people are looking for comfort. And sometimes comfort is even more important than competence in the search and in the landing. And you know what happens after that. How in what ways can organizations prepare themselves? If we got listeners who are sitting on boards and they know they got a retiring exec, or they got a problem that they know needs to be addressed, and this year is the year they're going to address it. How do they ready themselves for a good citizen experience where it's not fit in here what we already have, but to do something different requires an ad mentality? Should they be talking about before they call you? What are the things they need to be on so you can come on board?
Tim, I think the starting place is, um, man, you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with your board. We need to if we just get in the room and we just say, hey, look, here's where things are right now. Here's where it is.
Yeah.
We're not going to hide anything from Kevin and Good Citizen as a part of that process. We're going to let them, we're going to trust that we've hired experts in this work, and we're going to equip them with, here's who we are, what we're facing.
And so that
That's,
honesty thing, they got to have that together.
that sounds so simple,
But
Tim.
it's not when you got boards.
It is so challenging for people to, with clear eyes, say, you know what? Here's what we do well. Here's where we're struggling.
Mm.
Because what I say is, I can always find a leader that wants your challenge. I've just got to know what it is.
And
And
that's part of how you
common,
get away from that fit thing, is being honest about what we actually need. And then that becomes the focus over personality.
that is where we're focusing, right? The focus is on the institution, on the organization. It's on the work. It's on our
Gotcha.
goal. It's not about the people, right? And if we've zoomed in and become very clear and honest with ourselves about what the organization needs, what the work needs, If we talk and speak in those, it's like distancing ourselves a little bit and talk in those more abstract terms. And while we cannot be objective observers, moving with the intent of being objective in the way in which we're
Mhm.
describing and observing the institution
Yeah.
and the work and the mission and the goals.
Mhm.
If we're talking about it in that way, then we can do something. Because what trips people up is, but man, we don't want to upset this outgoing executive director that did this, that, the third. We don't want to, we got to be concerned with how these folks on the team are going to feel it. And again, it's not to say that we don't eliminate the people dynamic.
No, that's what it is. Yeah.
We create the job in the form of what does the organization need, right? And then we're going to figure out how do we address that other list of concerns that we've collected along the way? How do we address them? And in some cases, the right leader, like I said, will walk in and you just see people, man, go, I'm showing up different now.
Yeah, it's
Just
a different day.
that person's here, right? So you got a couple of those things that you were concerned about. They just fall right off your list because you're like, sometimes people are just waiting for something to
Mhm.
believe in,
That's right. They
right?
have something different to believe in than what they've been rehearsing,
That is
you
sometimes
know?
all people are waiting for, right? And in other cases, sometimes it's a moment where that leader needs to come in and figure out, what does this organization need? How do I make sure I'm getting the most out of the people that are here? How do I make sure that the people that are best prepared to move this organization forward are here, right? And a part of what we're doing and bought into
Um,
what, it's all of those things. And what do I need to get out of my board? What am I going to ask of them? How am I going to push them? How am I going to demand more of them? And the board is saying, how are we going to show up differently and making sure we're giving this leader everything that they need to be successful in this moment, right?
well, because clearly something's gotta change most of the time when there's a transition, right? That there
At
are
least
changes.
something.
I think people probably want a different human without having to change anything they're doing around, that position, and so it sounds like your work, by listening, you help them identify what is true and what shifts they need to make as a team. And by doing that with dignity, by doing
Yes.
that with consistency, by
Yes.
doing that with integrity around
Yeah.
what you said you were gonna do and deliver.
Right. And if we
Sounds
get
that sounds too simple, but it speaks to what people's experience is, right?
we get lost in the other stuff during that
Yeah,
moment, right? And it's easy to because it's easy to think, how is this impacting me personally? Am I losing ground because of this person coming in? Is it going
yeah.
to slow down my chance for this promotion or chance to step into becoming the board chair or the thing that I wanted? Am I impacted here? And I'm saying, as difficult as it is, and it's not easy, man, but if we are here supporting a cause, we got to suspend that personal for a moment.
Yeah, because some of those people have been wanting the role. In every transition, there's somebody who thought they should have had it inside,
Often,
right?
often.
It seems like there's dynamics, the people dynamics cannot be ignored. And because they're all there, I mean, I hate to use your company in a sentence, but that's why you as a company have to really be a good citizen in that process.
Man, we just trying to help. We just trying to
Yeah,
help people see it,
yeah.
right? That's it. And and I would also say, and I think we also have a responsibility to not do harm, right? I think the organizations we're talking about, when you're working in marginalized communities, when you're working in communities of color, when you have an obligation to not harm folks, right? And we need leaders that are moving in such a way that they're going to be protective of communities, adding to communities, supporting community, and not doing harm as a part of the work that they're doing. Um, and sometimes that requires courage. Sometimes that requires all of us banding together to be supportive and protective in difficult moments, which we experience sometimes, right? Um, and sometimes it means making unpopular decisions. Um, I'll say I don't for a second, while I love supporting these leaders and helping to get them to these posts, and I know how important and believe how deeply important it is, um, that we have representation in those roles, that we have not just representation, but folks that are living the values and the interest of the communities and the organizations that they're supporting and serving. Um, I don't envy folks, man. Leadership is not leadership is something we esteem in our society, but it's not easy work.
Ain't no joke today.
It's not
It
easy
never
work,
has been a joke, but it certainly ain't no joke now.
especially right now, right? So, I just want to make sure that we're doing what we can to find the folks that um, have the vision and the courage to meet the moment, man. Because, and the other part is the optimism, right? The hope. You got to be a motivator. Um, and you got to believe deep down in your bones that we're doing this with the right intentions and we're going somewhere. This is mattering to people,
Yeah,
you know? You've got to believe that. And in fact, sometimes you've got to be the holder of that for that whole community and institution that you are leading,
yeah, that's right.
right?
Because if the mission really does matter, so does leadership, right? To actually get something done, leaders are really important.
Very
Whether we
important.
celebrate that truth or not, that is the truth.
That is the truth. That is the truth, right? It doesn't mean other folks are not important because they can't get it
Correct.
done. Not
No, no,
everybody.
no. Right.
But it means we got to get it right when we're putting somebody into a seat of influence and power, and um, and then I want to be clear in saying, and especially for the leaders of color that step into those positions, we then have to support them. We
Mm,
cannot abandon them. We can't we can't expect any leader to get work done on their own and move mountains, right?
mm,
Uh, they are one part of the chain, one link in the chain, right? And um and so I think that the other charge that I offer to boards and to leadership teams that are hiring folks is, hey, I'm glad we are all sitting up straight and we got the right person. Now the work starts, right? Now we got to do all the things we said we were going to do.
that's right. Then we got to actually show up for what we signed up.
There you go. And when
So
you
what?
do,
I only got a couple questions left for you, but
go
one of
for
them
it.
that's
Yeah.
important is
Yeah.
like, what are the signs? What are the signs that somebody is going to thrive? Like you've had enough of these searches and placements in your professional career.
Yeah.
There's got to be some signals that things are going to be all right. And then there's got to be some signals that say, ooh, this team's going to be stuck in south of 3 months. Like, what are the signs of it's going to be unstuck and it could thrive? And then what are some of the signals that you go, ooh, Lord have mercy, we might be back?
When this is gonna work, first it starts with that leader, man. I tell you, the way people talk about great leaders is different. It's different. Think about the great leaders you know that are in your world that you've had the honor of working with, learning from. And then when I pick up the phone, I go, Tim, tell me about that person, right? That feeling that you feel right now.
They move us. Yeah, they
And
move us.
you talk to a couple of people and you go, wait, 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 wait. And you go, I know I was talking to somebody that was like, yeah, they were qualified and they were met but then you like, nah, this is somebody special right now,
Yeah.
right?
It's a uniquely human thing.
It's
It's
unique,
a sense more than a
right?
science.
Right. It doesn't come through on a resume, right? It's not a question you answer on an application. It's a feeling that somebody gives you that you like.
Well, that's why we can't let our biases get in the way early, because we miss the opportunity to also get that authentic intelligence, the
Huh,
sense, that humanity sense.
huh.
That's a part of it, that if you can suspend your bias, you won't fall for comfort. You fall for that whole picture, right? That whole the whole sense of what could move a community and a group.
You are speaking truth right now, Tim. And I tell you, man, because it is such a part of the work that we do. Like, and I have to check myself constantly. It's
I'm
like, well,
sure.
I'm doing this, and then I have to regularly go, what was my first impression of that person? Good, bad, what have you? Does it even matter? Right? Does it even matter?
Yeah.
Keep collecting the evidence and follow what the evidence is telling you about this person. And then you'll
Mm,
figure out if you're talking to the right people, right? Trust
yeah.
the rubric. Follow
And
a
the
rubric.
evidence is not my comfort. The evidence is much deeper and sharper than that. And I think that's the lesson for organizations and boards right now, that you may not have a good citizen with you, which, by the way, I hope you call them if you're a board. However, I'll just say that that piece of it is critical to slow down so you can not only speed up, but shore up your leadership. And it sounds like that part gets missed. Um, and when it does,
And you asked about what is the thing that derails it. Man, I can't tell you to try as best you can not to surprise that incoming leader in that first month or two, right? Nothing,
you've been
nothing
holding
should,
back, lying about stuff. I got stories for days about surprises 30
it should,
days into the
there shouldn't
job.
be one. There shouldn't be one, right?
Yeah. But there are all the time.
There are all the time. And that's where things move on the shaky ground with folks, right? Is that, and it's unfortunate, man. I get calls and they're like, "Yeah, man, didn't expect this to happen, but here we are," right? And um, which is why I say if we're just being honest with each ourselves, and we have a real conversation before, and we know what where we are, who we are, what we're doing, what's not going to be beautiful about what this person is facing. Somebody's always willing to go, "Yeah, I'll take that." No, no, no. I've dealt with that before.
That's right.
And that's all you want. But yeah, man, when you talking to when you got the right one, people just sing their praises. And when you got the right one, you close them. You close them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
worth it, right? In
Yeah.
the
You
long run,
understand that all of
worth
those pieces are aligned and that you went through a process that had some integrity, and then you can move forward in power. And I think that's the people tiptoe out of the starting gate instead of being able to blast out of the starting gate because they didn't do the work.
Trust them to do it, because you brought them there for a reason. Let
Mm,
them do it,
let them
right?
roll.
Let them do it and watch and, watch where they take you, man. Uh, that is it is nothing that brings me more pride, getting a checking in with somebody, go, "Yeah, man, we did work 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Let me tell you about how our organization has 3x our budget. We in this state now, we in that state now. Man, we doing this thing, we do," and I'm just like,
Oh, happy day. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep. Final
That's
question, man. We're
that's it.
talking to your ideal audience. We're talking to board chairs, people sitting on boards, foundation leaders who are supporting
Mhm.
nonprofits, donors who are supporting organizations and wondering how you're going to help them transition through leadership challenges. That group, give us a winner in terms of a strategy to be thinking about and a warning as they think about leadership and transitions, a winning strategy for them to think about and a warning for them to think about.
That's a good question. Um, I'm thinking of anything I haven't shared that I think would be a part of a winning strategy. Look, I think it would be it's never too early to start thinking about succession planning and are we ready?
Yeah.
Um, because on a serious note, brother, none of us know what the future holds,
Amen to
right?
that.
And it's never too early to be thinking about it. It's never too early to be investing in our next level of leadership. That's never a bad move either, right? Um, it's never too early to understand where our vulnerabilities are and where we've got to get stronger and better. And it's okay to admit that we're not getting it done everywhere across the board right now.
Mm,
That is okay,
yeah.
right?
Actually, it's
No,
the door opener to things if you just admit it.
we folks can do a lot, right? When you just say we don't have that figured out just yet, right?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
The warning, the warning would really be um, the thing that makes me nervous. Board dynamics are special.
Ain't they
They
though?
can be your they can be your fuel that shoots you off to another stratosphere,
Yeah.
or they can be the thing that is something somebody's spending a lot of time on, too much time managing, right? Navigating. Um,
It becomes the work in some organizations, just navigating all the personality and poo poo at the top.
and that's hard, man.
Yeah,
That's
man.
hard. That's hard
Yeah.
for a leader, right? That is stepping into a role and they're going, man, I got a team here. We got big ambitious goals here. Everybody's excited and expecting me to do a whole bunch of stuff here. And the people that are supposed to have my back and be in this the most are either sitting on the sideline or not supporting what we're doing or obstructing what we're doing or undermine like
Yeah.
the warning would be, if you got some challenges at the board level, man, start trying to I'm not saying fix it, but
Deal
start
with
figuring out how we are going to deal with and navigate some of that stuff before that person gets here, right?
it.
Because
Don't bring somebody into a burning house and you ain't told them nothing about it.
it's tough. It's
No, it's very
tough.
tough. I'll say it for you. I know you try to. I'll say it for you. Don't bring them into a hot mess, and you already know it's a hot mess.
And you know
Yeah,
it,
that's the
because
warning
that's
because they
usually not
know.
something that
People
just got
know.
figured
People know.
that's usually not something that just got figured out, right? It was
That's right.
probably something we knew. We knew we were dealing with, right? Um, so I hope some of those reflections there, Tim, are something that folks will find to be helpful. And um, again, I just want to express some gratitude to you, man, for inviting me to be a part of this. And I'm on I'm gonna be continuing to support and be a fan of you and the work you're doing, brother. So I just wanted
Thank
to
you,
send
man.
send a big shout out to you, man.
The feeling's mutual, my brother, for sure. And yeah, everything you said about how you approach your work is true. I got to see it. I got a random phone call about an organization I was connected to that you were working with, and I was one of those people you were interviewing to understand community and other things, and I think you would say it too, our acquaintance was different,
Yeah,
and you could feel the energy and brotherhood and camaraderie and fellowship right away.
yeah.
And we both were open to exploring that, and I'm just grateful to have, met you and encountered your work, and folks, I'll tell you straight up, he ain't lying. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I experienced his approach and his team. They ain't playing, and they do what they say, they're going to do. I'm gonna give you a fill in the blank, and we're gonna get out of here. You've got 250 years, in Carolina with family and
Yeah,
history and
yeah.
civil rights. And there's an old song, if I can help someone who's traveling along, if I can encourage someone with a word or song, if I can tell someone they're traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain. It's a song of the civil rights movement. My living will not be in vain if for you. What's the end to that song? With all this work and all this time, how will you know that this living you're doing won't be in vain? If you what?
If my son, who is 8 months old right now, uh, if he grows up to be an honorable man that um, is true to his word, loves people, leads with kindness and care, um, and if he makes a little bit of time for his old man, you know, even in my older days, brother, I would feel like I did it.
Then
Um,
your living will not be in vain.
that's right. That's right. Cause I got a father who, man, he's done all those things for me, man. And he
That's
continues to
beautiful.
be my hero, brother. And, um, and I'd be honored to have him see me in that same sort of light. So
I feel similarly, my brother. Yours is young and mine is getting grown. And that's a mic drop. But the mic costs too much to drop, so I drop my pen and say, thanks for
thank
coming on Unstuck, man. God bless you, my brother. Thank you for being
you,
a
man.
part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate you.